Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Week 8 edition of Birds vs. Boys with your first place Philadelphia Eagles and your second place with a tie, Dallas Cowboys, coming off two huge wins where the Birds get right and the Cowboys offense continues to roll, and maybe the defense figured out a thing or two against a broken, beat down Washington Commanders team at home. Two big games coming up this week for both of our teams. The Philadelphia Eagles in a revenge game against Skattebo and the Giants coming off one of the most improbable losses of all time, and the Cowboys heading to Denver against the team that beat the Philadelphia Eagles at the last second and also beat the New York Giants last week.
That's all they do.
Second. Can the Cowboys right the ship for the NFC East against Denver this year? Aiden, how are you?
I'm doing a lot better. The reaction show I did to the Eagles one was a lot more positive than the past few weeks. I did get a little concerned with myself, so I'm glad that the Eagles figured this out. My algorithm on TikTok started to think that I was in a serious depressive state. 6-7. It was like a lot of stuff that turned into like, hang in there, man. You're in a dark place now, but you're going to get through it. And I was scrolling and I hit like 4 or 5 of those in a row of like somber music in the back. And I'd be like, you get in dark places, but you'll get out. And I was like, uh-oh. I was like, oh no, I did it again. I let the sports teams drive me into the depressed state. But big win, happiness.
A funny thing that we can talk about as you head into the Giants game. Did you see the stat of teams with 6 minutes left with a 18 or more point lead in the fourth quarter? Did you see what the record was before the Giants lost to Denver?
Truly, the only other game I can think of is Miracle at the Meadowlands. That was close to being down 18. And even that, they scored with like 7 minutes left.
1,602-0.
Yeah.
That's the stat.
I mentioned this also on the reaction show, but it was so crazy. We were at a birthday party, so we were playing board games. So we were watching that game, but, like not locked in. And it ended, and it was so crazy. All of us were like, wait, what just happened? Like, we watched it live and then had to go back and watch the replay of the fourth quarter to figure out how that happened. And it got to like 5 minutes and the Broncos were still at 8 points. Like, we watched most of the fourth quarter and they still hadn't really scored. Crazy, crazy game. They've now done that multiple times, including to the Eagles. So if I were you, when we're texting about football on Sunday and we're feeling good in the fourth quarter, we have to be like we're in a Venus flytrap. Just no movement, no words. Until clock hits 0.
I'm calling this now, and maybe I shouldn't. Maybe this is going to come back to bite me come Sunday. I'm not calling a Cowboys blowout or anything, obviously. Dak Prescott was not alive the last time the Dallas Cowboys won in Denver, so it's been a minute. So I'm not going to do that. But I feel like Denver is this year's like Vikings from a couple years ago, where they just kept winning these improbable games. They're not as good as their record shows, and it's going to catch up with them.
And I just can't figure out when.
Hopefully it's Sunday.
I walk away from every game, and I'm like, is this even good at football? Because they've now won 3 straight games, and at points, it's some of like I don't want to say the worst football, but it's not good football. Like, this is how you know. All of us here are enormous football fans. It takes a lot for me to want to tune out. Jets Broncos, I tuned out. I was watching at the gym and I was like, I can just put my phone down. I don't care. Like, I was involved too for fantasy. I was like, I just can't take it. I can't take it. Like, that was that bad. And there they are on a 3-game win streak. 4-game win streak.
Yeah, it's pretty improbable, but there's a lot going on right now in terms of Eagles riding the ship, like we said. The Cowboys is the defense figuring it out? Is this the best offense that Dak or the Cowboys have ever had? trade deadline stuff between both of our teams. It seems like we're in an arms race against each other once again for possibly a pass rusher in free agency. If you remember what we did in linebacker a couple of years ago, I'm glad you won that one. But
that was funny.
Here we are. The Cowboys, I think, are at a turning point here in terms of where is the season going to go. They have a couple tough games heading before the trade deadline here, and where are they going to go? Are they going to win a couple of these games and then they're going to use one or two of these first round picks that they got out of Micah to try and get a piece, or are they just going to keep their capital because this team's got no shot? I'm very, very interested to see what happens. But if you do remember, they were 3-5 when they traded for Amari, and they ended that season 10-6. So
Beat the
it
Eagles.
can be done.
That was a crazy game when they beat the Eagles to do that. I thought that was my main takeaway this past week. I do think the Cowboys need to build on it against this Broncos team. Like someone has to snap the double magic. But my main takeaway from that game was that was a turning point. And I'm not doing my victory lap yet on the Commanders fans who are mean to me on TikTok, but I will have them know that I am doing my proper calisthenics so that I can run a very long victory lap here soon on how this season is going. And I think Cowboys, Commanders, thank you for everybody who's watching on YouTube.
Yep.
These are two opposite planes that they are now ascending and descending on. For the Cowboys, I continually am so impressed with their offense, and it just feels like they need a difference maker on defense. Like they just need a premier edge rusher with supreme athleticism that you've never before seen at that position, preferably somebody young, somebody who's like 26 or so. I don't know any names off the top of my head that would work. Max Crosby. Yeah, Max Crosby's the guy.
He's got a Cowboys star tattoo.
Somebody else did the other day. I was watching and I was like, they got a Cowboys star.
JSN.
Yes, that's who it was. Also, sorry, the ADHD break of the game presented by Birds vs. Boys. I don't think dunking on the goalpost should be a penalty. It's awesome.
Yes, I agree.
JSN had one of the best. He caught a 10-yard touchdown pass, perfect route, perfect throw. He 1-2 step collects right into a dunk, one-hand dunk on the goalpost, and it was awesome. I was like, wow, that route was perfect. That was like a beautiful touchdown pass. And he followed it up by somehow doing something even more athletic than that. And I was like, this is awesome.
Speaking of JSN and the Seahawks, and this continues our ADD discussion, two quarterbacks that are doing exactly what you said the Cowboys and the Commanders are doing, Sam Darnold and Geno Smith. Complete opposite ways.
Also,
or you could go USC quarterbacks, Sam Darnold and Mark Sanchez. Also.
One of them is a flat ascending line because he's doing wind sprints in an alley behind the hotel.
I can't. That there has to be a 30 for 30 or a Netflix special that comes out of that one in a couple of years, please.
TMZ gets everything. I don't know how they haven't gotten the full video yet.
Pretty wild. Let's start with you quick. I know we're up against it for this show today. This is a revenge game. This is another, I guess you could say, get right game. The Giants kind of, it seems like, all right, maybe they had a little bit of their Tommy DeVito, Jeremy Lin fun again with a name of somebody who's not ready to fully ascend. I don't know. They're still fun. I think they're still capable, but they also stink at the same time.
They do young dumb team stuff. What's that song by Khalid? It's like Young, Dumb, and Broke, and it's just about being like, you know, a young teenager who's figuring their way out in the world. That's the song version of the Giants. Like they're gonna do dumb stuff, including just headbutting each other at all times. I think I love Jaxson Dart. I've loved him since Ole Miss. I think he is the real deal. So now we have quite the division, by the way, in quarterbacks now. It's awesome. There's no easy game.
Nope.
It probably makes sense for me to go first because I can go quicker.
Yep.
I'm just going to say everything I said 2 weeks ago. I would just really like it if they did it this time. All of the tips and tricks that I gave the defense, if you guys could try one more time for me to see if you could do any of them.
Yep. That'd be great for you.
That would be really helpful.
I think the Eagles are clearly the better team.
Mm-hmm.
I think, last week was the perfect week for them to have this get right game before the Giants. Because I think if you're riding a 3-game losing streak, starting with the Giants, getting back to the Giants, it's good that they got right before. But I will say also, NFL schedulers, I hate this play your division guy this close together, and then you play other ones 15 weeks apart. I think it's so stupid.
We won't play the Commanders until December, but we're playing the Giants 2 weeks apart. I do think it's weird. I don't
get it.
It makes it feel too much like MLB, NBA, where it's like you're playing back to back. So sometimes then it becomes just a split naturally, because if you just run this sample size again and again, sometimes you just get differing results.
How can you be done with the division opponent before Halloween?
I don't know. Did you like my mug, by the way? Halloween mug. I'm ready.
I do. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Love that song.
I listen to a bunch of Halloween edits while I sit and do my work. The other day I flew too close to the sun. It was quite literally people like screaming. And like
that gets a little much sometimes.
Yeah. I was looking for like this is Halloween, like those type of sounds.
Love that one. Yeah.
I got like the actual like horror movie sounds. So
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
that's not
good.
the ambiance I was
That's
looking
never
for.
good.
And who's listening to 3 hours of this? They need to be on a list.
I actually got a screen to hang on my office window, which is really big, next to our front door, and I'm going to project out the This is Halloween movie, and it's going to be seen outside the whole night on Halloween. Pretty cool.
That's awesome. This is my first year ever having trick-or-treaters. I am very excited.
Did you get your candy yet?
No, but
okay, wait.
I'm at Costco weekly, so we're gonna be loaded.
Because otherwise, the bag opens and then the candy's gone before Halloween. And then you got to go get more. I don't want it in my house.
I should not be trusted with the Halloween candy.
Nope.
Back to the Eagles. Halloween, love it. Of all the things I love, Halloween, the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Same game plan. I need them to contain Jaxson Dart.
Yes.
Big difference. If you look at the Eagles defense, the two worst games that they had defensively, you'd say probably the first half against the Cowboys and then the game against the Giants. What are the common denominators there? Jalen Carter did not play. You immediately saw his impact on the second drive for the Vikings. He swim moves the center. He almost breaks Carson Wentz's ribs, and it's a pick six the other way. That's what was missing against Jaxson Dart this last time, creating internal pressure. I think a guy like Vic Fangio, having seen the test already, now has a better idea of how to handle Jaxson Dart. And again, I didn't really even think it was that bad of like scheme last time. They just like caved the pocket and then let him escape multiple times to extend the plays. Yes. So it more so is just like locking in.
Lock in, do your job. I don't know about you. I think the addition of Nakobe Dean back is going to help as well in this.
Absolutely. I love this system that we're kind of working. He was in on early downs, early on rundowns, made an instant impact, 6 tackles. Jahad Campbell's been playing edge. We'll get to the big edge rusher story here in 1 second, but I liked he would play edge. They lined up Jalen Carter on the outside, and on that play, Moro Jomo got a sack. They were letting Josh Uche roam, which I thought was cool, where it was like 3 guys were on the line, but then it was like Zach Bond, one of the safeties, and Uche kind of right behind there, and you don't really know where the blitz is coming from. Thought that was a cool pressure look. So there's been some cool pressure looks, and that's the beauty of having all these guys. They need to improve the edge rusher position, but everything else, like they're definitely trying to scheme ways to get pressure. And who knows, maybe with this new addition, that's an old edition, we might be able to generate some more.
How about it, huh? Did you see the tweet? Somebody tweeted at Jason Kelsey, and said, "You busy?" And he said, "Very."
Yeah. That is the truest statement I have ever heard. Mm-hmm. He is on my TV screen every sporting event I watch
with his Japanese maple.
They I missed that. I didn't know what that I saw Kylie
So
Kelsey tweeted
yeah,
put that in
my
her
wife
Instagram.
showed me the other day they were talking about the song Wood, and he was talking to Travis about how Taylor called him a redwood tree, and talking about his wood, and he's like, I'm more of like a Japanese maple. and then
It's very
and then
funny.
and then his wife put in her bio, big fan of Japanese maples on Instagram.
That's funny. That's true. They got 4 kids. So
Mm-hmm.
we might need them. We didn't have a center last week.
Yeah, crazy is that.
What's like a famous experiment that they discovered by mistake? Like, didn't they discover electricity by mistake?
I think champagne too.
Champagne was one by mistake.
I think so.
The Eagles discovered play action under center by mistake. Cam Jurgens went out of the game and Brett Toth was having trouble snapping it. It was like super delayed. And he's more of a guard anyways. They didn't have a center. So they had to go under center. And then they were 4 for 4 on play action under center, including a 79-yard touchdown. So they did it by accident.
Hey,
it made a wonderful discovery. They were like caveman discovering fire over there on that sideline.
Speaking of the offensive line for the Eagles, but being on the other side, can you imagine being in the Vikings defensive room and the DC's like, hey, Aiden, whenever they do the tush push, you're just going to lay down in front of the line. Like, that's your job.
You're just guaranteed to be at the bottom of the pile. Doesn't seem fun.
No.
Also, everyone's like, they found a new way to stop it. The Eagles did convert on that play, by the way. I feel like we lost the plot a little bit there. They're like, oh, look at this innovative way to stop it. The Eagles, it was 4th and 1 in the Eagles.
And the thing is, too, it's everyone's like, all right, they got the false start, which was the right call. But if they run it 5 times a game, let's say 4 times a game, and one's a false start, but they convert 3 or 4 others, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So
that is true.
I think they go in. I think they handle business. I think they win this game, and you move on. That's just go handle your business. That's all you got.
Yeah, I'm not expecting some big blowout. I think the Giants are going to be one of those all-time frisky teams. I think they're going to be in every game the rest of the season. They are banged up on defense,
yes,
which that might impact them more than anything they're doing with Skattebo and Jaxson Dart. Brian Burns was in a walking boot. The safety, his name is escaping me right now. He was hurt, came back, and then left again. Jalen Carter is in concussion protocol. So they got a few guys that makes their job a lot tougher, especially on the road this time. The energy feels different. Energy-wise, I'm not saying you should take Jaxson Dart's chain, but before the game starts, I would like to point out to the Eagles defense that these guys were high-fiving the ref and headbutting each other and seeking out contact on you any chance that they could get, celebrating in your face. I'm not saying you have to yank his chain off, diamond chain that he's always wearing, but more energy for sure would be nice. But
this is a Jalen Carter, I'm going to hurt you game.
Yes. And that'll get clipped out of context when we run for office in 7 years. But, this week that will be a 2 out of 10 compared to some other videos that got leaked of political candidates. But point remains, we don't mean hurt, but I know what you mean. Like the way he rammed Wentz last week, like right up the middle, bang.
Yep.
That's what we're looking for.
Punish.
We need to apply some pressure on him and force him into mistakes. Make sure that if he's using his legs, it is out of emergency.
Yes. Yep. 100%.
Yeah. So I definitely feel a lot more confident this time around without the short week, being at home. By the way, Kelly Green week.
Yes,
Kelly Green week.
Don't
so I think there's going to be some pop for BG being back. I feel like he's already fought valiantly for his country, Philadelphia. This is not his fight. He shouldn't have to have this fight, this battle. Somebody else needs to step up and be the leader in this battle.
Yep.
So, but it'll get some pop for him to be back. So hopefully it's just a beautiful fall day in Philadelphia. And like you said, I'm not looking for blowouts. I'm just looking for a win.
And that's what I'm looking for because, like I said earlier, the Cowboys have not won in Denver since there was not a salary cap yet the last time that they won in Denver. So I feel like this is a game where the Broncos are very up and down. Like we said, they had not scored a point in the first, second, or third quarter against the Giants, and then they scored 33 in the fourth. Why they didn't just do what they did in the fourth all game, I don't know. That would kind of be my coaching strategy for them. But this week, I think
Yeah.
it's almost like when the Cowboys beat the Giants in overtime, they were so high, so hype, and then the next week against the Bears, so flat. I think
Yeah.
everybody's been talking about this Broncos win. It's been so hype, it's been so crazy that I think Broncos have a chance to come out flat, and the Cowboys need to take advantage of that, and the offense needs to take advantage of that and score quickly and score often, and that's what we've seen this Cowboys offense do, right? The addition of George Pickens has been unbelievably incredible. CeeDee Lamb comes back, has a 75-yard touchdown. Javonte Williams has been everything and more you could always hope for. And speaking of revenge games, playing against his former coach, playing against his former team, this is going to be a game where he is going to want to excel. There's a chance you get Cooper Beebe back. Which then finally your offensive line will be back together in full. It is a game, like I said, at a crossroads where they are going to go one of two ways. The season's going to hinge not just on this game, but there is a lot of implications that could come from this game, right? Which way are they going to head in the trade deadline? Are they going to push some guys that 21-day windows have just opened, like Agent Zero and Jonathan Mingo? Or are they going to go the other way because the season's now folding? It is such a huge game, I feel like, for the Cowboys. And I hate to say that because, like I said, it's not even Halloween yet. But this week, so much hinges on it.
Yeah.
Because it's also a game that I feel like they can win on the road in Denver. Bo Nix is gettable, right? He's the check down king. Go out, just like you said, score 35 like this offense can do, and just hold them to 28. If you could just hold them to 28, we're going to win the game. Just do it.
I love that it's one of those defenses that you're just begging to keep them under 30.
That's all I'm asking, because Dak Prescott is playing at an MVP level. I've never seen him for this long of a stretch to play this well. He looks locked in. He looks dedicated. And I am just so fearful that the defense is going to waste all of it.
Agreed. I not only that, you mentioned this earlier, but I'm very curious to see how this goes with our two opponents having played each other last week in that crazy game. Is there some sort of hangover for the Broncos? Yep. How quickly can you recover if you're the Giants, who just like gave that one away? Like, where's your morale at energy wise? So I'm very curious energy wise for these teams, and that parlays into the Cowboys defense, where it's like, if the Broncos come out flat because they put everything into that fourth quarter last week, can the defense string together stops early? Then your offense is up 14-0. It's up 17-3. And then they can kind of get their feet settled a little bit, right? Maybe not against the Broncos, who are pulling off these miracles every week, but still, point remains.
And hopefully the defense, last week they played basically half and half man zone. We've been seeing that they've been playing like 100% zone. They're saying that was more geared towards what the Commanders do. But I think we also see that a lot of these corners that the Cowboys have are better in man. Kyrie Elam the last 2 weeks has been much better in man situations. He's just not a zone player. We know Trayvon Diggs, the numbers actually say he's a better zone player. He likes to play more man. We'll see if he's back in this game from concussion protocol after whatever happened at his house that put him in concussion protocol. But I will say these receivers, obviously, that they played last week in Washington, they're not Cortland Sutton and the receivers that Denver has. So we'll see if they can do it against them. But like I said, if you're just middle of the pack, if you just play a solid game, I feel like the Cowboys offense is going to score on Denver's defense. You get up, like you said, even 10-0, 13-0, let the offense go to work, control Bo Nix, and then, it's thin air up there. Let Brandon Aubrey hit a 74-yard field goal, please.
Yes.
That's
This
what
could
I
be the
want.
week. Should we call our shot?
That would be the week. This could be it. So listen, you know me, I'm usually on the opposite side. I'm usually on the more pessimistic side, but I feel like this could be a 35-28, 38-32 type Cowboys win. I feel confident in this game. I felt confident last week, which means they'll probably lose, 35-17. But I feel like this team's got a little swagger to them right now too, which is a good thing. I think they know what's on the line, and I think they're going to go out and I think they're going to get it done.
I respect the positivity. Look at us coming around.
How about that?
We're what's the saying at the end of the video? We're a cautiously optimistic podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Feels good to be back.
Sunday afternoon, I'll be screaming and yelling. So
I'll be not optimistic and just cautious.
All right, so I think we got 2 big wins coming this week that we are predicting. Cowboys in Denver and the Eagles in a revenge game against the Skattebo and the New York Giants. Last thing I'm going to say is, I don't know if you saw the video, but it was hilarious of the Jets fan. They interviewed him after the game. He's like, I hate this team. I was born into this, and I'm going to be this forever, but I just hate this. At the same time that Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Jets, was interviewed about how Aaron Glenn's doing. He's like, I think he's doing a pretty good job. I think he'd be better if our quarterback could complete a pass.
True.
Very true.
I did feel bad for that kid because that was not somebody trying to go viral or have a viral moment. The pain in that kid's eyes, I was like, brother, it doesn't get better, but hang in there.
He was the kid that was getting the same TikTok algorithm that you were getting last week.
He's getting all the stuff that it's like, you're going to be on Hope Course soon. And it's like stormy clouds. It's literally like ambiance of like dark rain clouds in the background. Yep. It's like, life gets better, man. Like that's his timeline this week.
You're going to be okay. And everybody, you're going to be okay too, especially if you subscribe to the YouTube page right here on Birds vs. Boys Pod.
More than
if it's your first time here, thank you and welcome. Smash that subscribe button, like and comment below. Anywhere you are on social media, we are as well at Birds vs. Boys Pod. And anywhere you listen to full podcasts, we are there as well. Birds vs. Boys Pod. I am K-Mess. He is Aiden. Be cautiously hopeful. Be cautiously optimistic. Enjoy the fall weather. Enjoy the football. And let's hope the Cowboys, and well, I hope the Eagles don't win this weekend. Get it done. And let's inch closer and closer to both being fully involved in the trade deadline, because that is just like the draft again, which makes it so much fun.
Big announcement next week. That's not the trade deadline.
Don't bury the lead.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones. Upset alert. Upset alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there.
There's no hope. Hope is gone. If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach. That is
the team you promised me you were going to be this year.
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.